All right, time to break down all of that and more. Happy to be joined on set by our resident expert, Kay Mauro. How are you, ma'am?
Oh, thrilled to be here. This is my favorite time of the year, and I think it's pretty much a consensus around here.
Right. I don't know if it does get any better than this. All right, let's break down Class 5A. And first, let's take a look at the brackets. Highlands Ranch is the #1 overall seed. And, well, there's going to be some contenders in there. You see Cherry Creek down there at number 12, the matchup with Fruita Monument. But looking at that, what do you see? Who do you like?
You know, this Sweet 16 looks really strong right now. I think who stands out, because, you know, Castleview is a common opponent for Highlands Ranch in that Continental. It's going to be tough for them. Lakewood, the Emsbo twins coming out against Denver East, they always are going to be strong and always be a contender. And you look down a little bit further, Pine Creek lost to 4A Pueblo South earlier in the year, but strong in 5A. But I really think the game of the week in Sweet 16 is Cherry Creek at number 5 Fruita Monument.
Right.
You've got a premier guard in Riley Schneider, who is phenomenal for Fruita Monument. Unfortunately, we don't get to see a lot of the Western Slope, but they are doing some great work down there, and they're led by their junior. Now, they face a Cherry Creek team who's lost to Grandview in the Centennial League a couple of times, but they are loaded. They've got, a few years ago, we talked about the super sophomores. They're now seniors. Yep. You got Dwinell in the backcourt, who's now joined by a fantastic freshman in Van Geitenbeek, right, one of the best in the state. And then you look at the trees in the middle. You've got Pranger on the outside, McMillan, Meck, and don't forget Richardson, who leads them in rebounding. So they've got a lot of power, and Coach Cernine really emphasizes defensive and rebounding. And I really think they're strong to really kind of make a move here in the 5A.
Yeah, you mentioned Richardson. Her dad, Jason Richardson, the former Michigan State star and NBA player. And possible Grade 8 matchup with Ralston Valley and Cherry Creek. Those two teams, Mary Kay, have already met twice this year, and Ralston Valley knocked off the Bruins both times. All right, let's get to the other side of the bracket, and you can give me an idea of what you see here. And again, you get the #2 overall seed in Grandview, and boy, how good have the Wolves been here this year, undefeated in the state of Colorado, led by Michaela Onyenware.
Yeah, and Onyenware and company got better this year.
Layla Vigil, the transfer from Highlands Ranch now.
Yeah, here you have an elite player who transfers in. You already have a team that's smarting from a loss in the Final Four last year against Thunder Ridge. Now they've added Layla Vigil, and they have really bolstered their lineup. They've got Davis, Vigil, Onyenware, so strong. But then their backcourt with Kennedy Brown, the junior Galloway, they really put a lot of pressure on teams, and teams are really struggling with that pressure. And the X factor is how do you stop Onyenware? I don't know if people have an answer, but they have to do some things to take her out of a rhythm. And that's going to be really tough against a strong Grandview squad.
Yeah, again, where her numbers are down a little bit this year, averaged 25 a game last year, down to 20 a game this year. But the fact of the matter, her supporting cast is better here this season. Well, how about a couple of the other matchups we're looking at? Horizon, possibly looking at a Final Four matchup with Grandview a little bit later on here this year. Of course, we saw that matchup 2 weeks ago in our game of the week. And then there's Regis Jesuits as we take a look at the bracket again, right against Fossil Ridge in the Sweet 16.
And Fossil Ridge has done such a terrific job. They're in there every year. They made it to a state title game. Didn't quite get over the top, but they're always tough in there. So Regis, probably a year away. Carl Maddie's team very strong. He's got the sophomore that's garnered a lot of attention in Frania Belibi. But his team is probably a year away. Yeah. And then we look a little bit closer. You mentioned Loveland and Horizon in there. Horizon, boy, they faced one of the best scorers, if not the top scorer in the state, in Tatum Rembo. She still continues to do it. She's Creighton bound, and that's going to be a good matchup there. But I look for Horizon with their strength in the middle. So I would say Horizon, and don't forget Ralston Valley.
Yep.
Ralston Valley with the Van Sickle sisters, led by Ashley, and then she's got Bevington underneath. They've got a lot of pieces.
Yeah, also saw you see Doherty and Fairview in there. Fairview had to vacate 6 wins here this year with an ineligible player playing, and Doherty, they've won 15 straight, and they're 23-1. All right, so as I look at this, and even looking further into the distance, I see Grandview and Highlands Ranch meeting up for a state championship. I don't see any way around it, do you?
I see one way around it, and I think what it might come down to play in the paint, and that's something that Cherry Creek is so strong. So they've got pretty much the full package. They got great guard play, and they do a fantastic job in the middle. I think if we're going to look for a spoiler and a different look in this championship instead of Grandview Highlands Ranch, I'm looking at Grandview Creek.
All right, there you go. So let's take a look at Class 4. You've seen some of the highlights there now. Take a look at the brackets. The number 1 overall seed that goes to Pueblo South. Of course, Shannon Lane's team winning the state championship a couple years ago. And Pueblo West on the other side's number 2 seed. But take a look at the bracket there, and what do you see? Anything standing out?
Yeah, what I like is how Rifle and Windsor have really moved ahead. They did respectively very well in their leagues. And how about Golden? They were strong in the early 2000s in 04 and 08 when they won the league, and now they're back strong again. But the spoiler is going to be Holy Family. Holy Family, Ron Rossi, they had 6 championships in 3A. There's only their second year in 4A. They're going to be a spoiler, but Pueblo South, Shannon Lane, her team's primed again.
Yeah.
They got it inside, outside, and led by Gabby Lucero.
On the other side of the bracket now, and you see Pueblo West as the number 2 seed, and also Valor Christian lurking down there as that number 6 overall seed. It's a Valor Christian team, the 2-time defending 4A state champs, lost a lot from last year. Here they are back this year. They're playing well down the stretch.
And they really are. Jessica Caldwell has done just a tremendous job as the head coach there. She's got a good record. They've already won 2 state championships under her in a row. Never count them out. Almost like a Highlands Ranch and a Karen Jaraki team. You never count them out, especially because they're tournament tough. And back in there is Evergreen. How about the Cougars?
They're Jefferson County League, so good.
Really like how they've really come up. Of course, I'm a Jeffco kid, so I remember the earlier days when they were always strong, but you can't, I'm telling you, when you look at Mesa Ridge, they lost their McDonald's All-American, Kylie Shook, but they are still competitive and still playing strong coming out of the Colorado Springs Metro team. So Pueblo West, we didn't talk a lot about them, but guess what? They're a nemesis of Pueblo South, and Gail Lucero, they always come in strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's an all-Pueblo final.
Yep, they could be Pueblo West versus Pueblo South. Mary Kay, have a great time on the call this weekend in the Grade 8, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Sounds great.
All right. Mary Kay Mauro, resident basketball expert on the girls' side. Don't go anywhere. More to come. We'll check back in with the 5A boys when we come back here on the Xfinity Sports Report.